let's give a rousing welcome to Mr. Hank Williams. All right, boys, let it roll.
Hey, good looking.
When he first came to see me, he played some songs he'd written, and I offered him a contract right then and there.
Cooking something up with me.
Do you love me?
Most of the time, I do.
Said, hey, sweet baby.
Congratulations. You have a son, Mr. Williams.
He's gonna have a real dad, not like it was for me.
It's a brand new recipe.
You drinking like a fish tonight.
What are you writing, Hank?
A little poem of the Lord.
Why don't you write me a poem?
I might have to get to know you a little better.
There's a lot of speculation about the hard lives that folk singers live.
What do you mean, hard?
You go out on the road and you sleep with a different woman every night.
I need you with me.
You think you can treat me right then?
I can try.
Business is tough on marriage.
Marriage is tough on marriage.
You're barely even here. You're barely even a father now.
Boy, I'm a professional at making a mess of things. Everybody has a little darkness in them. Now, I'm talking about things like anger, sorrow, shame. I show it to them. And they hear it. And they don't have to take it home. Country music, it's sincere. Man sings a sad song. He knows it's sad.
So because this movie's release date was pushed back to March and out of contention for this year's award season, it has a bit of an uphill battle ahead of it to kind of wash that bad taste out of everyone's mouth, because that's really all anyone's heard about this movie. Besides, it stars Loki. He looks a heck of a lot like Hank Williams Sr., and he and Elizabeth Olsen are dating in real life. But this trailer, I think, does a lot to get the ball rolling towards a more positive view of the movie, because the trailer is very impressive. Now, when it started out, I was a little nervous. I was like, Hiddleston, your accent's all over the place. This seems like your standard bio of the week. You know, we've had so many music bios, especially after, you know, the Walk the Line Johnny Cash bio was so well received and won an Oscar for Reese Witherspoon. Everyone's like, oh, let me make one. Let me see if I can get the same kind of attention. And I don't think that anyone, you know, we had Ray with Jamie Foxx. There have been winners, but, you know, it's small percentage compared to all the movies that have been made. But toward the end of this trailer, it got really special, particularly Tom Hiddleston's like monologue that was playing over the end, which was so good. I was like, maybe you didn't need to hold this movie, because as we've been discussing, this year's awards race is kind of light. Speaking of I Saw the Lights, maybe people would see the light, and this would have been a strong contender because there's space this year and people need a movie to be excited about. I think, you know, maybe having this come out early is a good idea, because this is going to need like grassroots kind of following, a little bit like The Blind Side, although that was, I believe, like a fall release anyway. But this was supposed to come out November 27th, so, you know, just this past weekend. I think that's too close to awards season. I think it needs to have time to get a following and to attract the fans of country music that this movie is going to speak to. Because I used to like country music. I think everyone goes through like a country music phase, even if they don't stay country music fans. But I never really quite understood country music until I watched this trailer, and they perfectly explained it. And I thought it was so amazing. And his accent was on point throughout the monologue. But the discussion about everybody has those negative, sad aspects to them, but by hearing it in, you know, country music, it's a release and you don't have to take it home with you. I was like, wow. And then country music is sincere. A man sings a sad song, but he knows it's sad. I was like, that's amazing. Put that on a t-shirt, put it on a bumper sticker. And it was so good, in fact, that I looked up who wrote this movie. And it's Mark Abraham. He wrote and directed it. And he really only made one other movie prior to this, Flash of Genius, which was a pretty good movie. That was Greg Kinnear and the whole windshield wiper controversy controversy over his invention being stolen from him. And that was a good movie, but I would categorize that as like an HBO movie or something like that. And this could end up being in that category as well, because, and there's nothing wrong with being an HBO movie, but as television the small screen steps up its game from TV to cable to Netflix, movies have to, keep going forward as well. You can't, or else the small screen's going to pass them. But this looks like, I think, a big improvement on Flash of Genius, and I'm really impressed that Mark Abraham, who has only made one other movie and largely as a producer, would do such a good job here with that dialogue, which just immediately won me over. Again, the beginning of the trailer, I was like, seen it, weak accent, oh, something special. So we'll see if the movie only has flashes of genius, like Mark Abraham's first film, or if it's genuinely a sleeper hit. And so I'm looking forward to it, and I wish it the best of luck with next year's award season. Weird to release the trailer now. You'd think they would release it after award season, being like, get excited for next year's award season, instead of being like, look what decided not to compete this year. Do you think we made a mistake? I kind of think you did. I think that this would have been, perhaps a front runner. All right, so thank you so much for tuning into my trailer review. I look forward to continuing our discussion down below, and you can check out some other episodes right now.